one of the first times that I ever really stepped in for like to be the hammer about like just bedtime. And it was just a matter of me saying, no, you're going to bed, and then picking her up and putting her into bed. And the look on her face of just like, who the F do you think? And then the one of those screams that like where she's silent for 10 seconds. Like, what the F is going on, Mom?
Right. What did you bring in here?
Yeah. And Jen is my fiance. Jen and we don't barely talk about it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we are, our friends and the people in our life know we're engaged. And it's the whole situation isn't without its challenges with some members of my family. So that's another reason why I kind of, I'd be telling other people's story if I was to tell that.
Okay.
So I don't really want to, and also I just know, I know that it would be, I know that whatever the people involved wouldn't want me talking about it. It would upset them, and I don't have any interest in upsetting.
So are they
people.
working? You think it'll work out?
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. It's there's nothing more common in the world than people getting divorced, getting remarried, families combining, families blending. It's complicated. And there's a lot of steps to it, and there's a lot of adjustments to be made, and a lot of patience is required.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think, and it's one of those things where years from now,
yeah,
it'll all be okay, and you'll look back and remember
absolutely.
There were struggles for certain people more than others.
I am almost entirely confident of that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just enough worry, because I'm human, and there's just enough worry to keep me on my toes. But I mostly am like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you need a little bit, right?
Fine.
Yeah. On your toes.
Yeah.
So Jen is not in entertainment, or is she?
Well, she actually is sorta. She's in the music business more. She's has her own company, and she reps directors for music videos.
Okay.
And commercials too, but mostly for me. She's been working. You put on any YouTube music video channel. She's like, I did that one. That's cool. Yeah, so she's worked on a lot of, made the deal, but it's weird. Her end of the business too it's much more loosely defined, where there's like some shoots that she has to show up and kind of make sure that they run on time, which my agents don't ever have to do that,
Right. Yeah, I think that's a totally different.
The music business, and it's one of the things she loves about it, is that it's really loosey-goosey sometimes. Okay,
so she can kind of choose how involved to be.
Yeah, and it's fun and exciting, She said, like, commercials in comparison, there's more money involved, and there's, like, probably more general competency, but it's not as fun. Because you don't have like kind of, and I understand what she's talking about. Like a little bit of chaos can be kind of exciting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And keep you on your toes.
Yeah. Or maybe having a mix of both.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You don't want, it's the gas and brake on that is very subtle,
So did you think you were going to get married again?
Yeah, probably.
You did from all along?
I wasn't sure, and I got to a point where I felt like, yeah, I could be alone, because, in my life, I lived with roommates, I lived alone, and when I lived alone, at least when I was younger, I found that I preferred living with roommates, not just anybody, but people that I liked. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have somebody in the house. And I did think for a while, like, yeah, I guess I could, I wouldn't, I thoughts like, will I ever be able to live solo? Can I ever cope with being alone in this world? And then you like, yeah, you'll be fine. But I like marriage. I don't find it confining. I find it exciting. I find it way more interesting to hunker down with one person and figure out the nuances and subtleties rather than a constant cavalcade of different people. That's not, it's fun, but it's not interesting in a way. And so, yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
if I'd met somebody who didn't want to get married but wanted to, be committed, that's fine. It's
That
not
would be
like,
fine too.
yeah. But with marriage, it exists for a reason. And we all got together, whether we know it or not, and our ancestors got together and said, there ought to be this sort of deal that people make. And then they take that deal to the state and they put it on a piece of paper and the state okays what they're doing. And there's something about that and I think it's because it really makes it real. It really makes it like you not only have made a commitment to each other, but you've made a commitment to like the tribe of mankind by using the state as a proxy for it. Like, here you go, universe. We put it in writing. We're together. And that has weight that, just like, you want to stick together? Okay. I mean, and there's plenty of people that have, I'm just talking about for me too. But I also think I'm in the majority. Like, I think most, most people that are coupled, I think, are married. At least, I don't know, in this country. I have no data on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about I don't know either. I really don't know.
I feel like I know, for as far as like romantic couples living together, most of the people in my life, they're married,
Yeah.
if I go down a
But
list.
is everybody pairing off for life kind of, or for the long term as well? I don't know.
I don't know what anybody's definition of, of it is. And it's it's all like, you set out with the best of intentions, but
Right.
stuff changes.
So what about having a you said 2.5-year-old?
2.5-year-old.
So did you ever think that you would have that again? Because your kids are how old? They're what, late teens, right?
No. My son is going to be 22 next month.
Oh, okay.
Or later this month. It's November now. He's going to be 22 at the end of the month, and my daughter's 17. And no, I didn't. I mean, from dating, and I'm dating grown-up women, and lots of grown-up women have kids. So I always thought that might, I might meet somebody with a kid.
I feel like you would really enjoy that. Like I feel like you're a good dad.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I do like it, and I do, and it's important to me, and I, take it very seriously, but, not boring seriously, but I don't push to get into her life, and I just kind of want to be there for her steady, but it's also, I'm remembering all the fun things you get to do, with a 2.5-year-old.
It's so cute. And maybe like the second time around, you can relax a little bit more and enjoy it.
Absolutely. From the first to the second, you calm down. I mean, a couple of years ago, apologized to my son because I was like, you were the first one.
Yeah.
So we had no idea. Well, everything that was new with you was new to us too. So,
well, they call them, they're like the first pancake.
Yes, exactly. You always ruin the first one.
Exactly. But then you really get the other ones perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely were more relaxed with the second one. And now there's just like a lot of stuff that I've also learned. I've found the calmness that you need, because I got into this relationship, and there's a 2.5-year-old, and all right, and then I start to interface, and I had my father of almost adult children level of patience, and I, had to,
yes.
I had to, or I guess ratchet it back up to be like, no, it takes this level,
right?
Of will you just stop,
Right. Just put the hat on.
Just, get in the car, get in the car. Get out of the car, just every freaking thing. And so you got to, you have to lock in this level of like, I'm not going to let it bug me. But I also too, like, there's just like there's a lot of like particulars about that I don't know about, like baby stuff, you know. Like,
What, that you forgot, you mean? Or
no,
you weren't
well, kind of
involved
that I
with?
forgot. No, but just like, what is that rash, you know, kind of
Oh,
thing, you
okay.
know, and like, what do you put on that rash, you know, that kind of rash, uh, or, you know, or
I think
like,
it's usually
yeah, like,
Aquaphor.
what kind of cough medicine can you give a kid, you know, that kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
So I have to look it up now, but because my fiance doesn't know me. One of the first times that I ever really stepped in for like to be the hammer about like just bedtime is what it ended up being. And it was like her, like and it was just a matter of me saying no, you're going to bed, and then picking her up and putting her into bed, and the look on her face of just like, who the F do you think? And then the one of those screams that like where she's silent for 10 seconds, you know, because she's made such a, you know, like just, you know, hugest show of like, what the F is going on, mom?
Right. What did you bring in
Yeah.
here?
And I came out and I said, I put her to bed and, you know, and talked her down. And she's like, she can be like a really reasonable little kid if you know, and you can, and she'll turn on a dime from a complete mess to like, okay, you know. But I came out and I said to Jen, I was like, I'm sorry if I, you know, stepped over, you know, on your toes or anything. And she's like, oh, what are you kidding? She goes, I have no idea what I'm doing. She goes, like,
That's right, 'cause it's is it her first
yeah,
child?
yeah, it's her first child, and she's raised her alone. So
Yeah.
she's like, step in whenever you want. She's like, I don't have any idea what I'm doing.
Right. Also, because she's so young that you really do get to be her full-on dad
Yeah.
without like emotional complications that you might have had
Yes.
if she were older.
Yes. Yes,
For
definitely.
both of them.
Definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just, yeah.
Yeah. And so Jen probably wants you to be, I don't know your relationship, but she probably wants you to be full parent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, no, yeah. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And that's always been part of the deal for both of us from our first date, you know? I mean, I never once tried to pretend like it wasn't, like the two of them weren't one thing.
So I asked you about the best time. What about the hardest time? One of the hardest times in your life.